In the 13th century, Saint Francis walked these very streets in Assisi. He lived among the poor and like the poor, and would go on to become one of the most famous and important saints in the Catholic faith. Well, 800 years later, Pope Francis, the first pope to take his name, arrived in the historic town in central Italy for a special meeting with the poor ahead of World Day of the Poor. The Pope had invited 500 people from Catholic charities all over the world who work with the poor, the homeless, and those on the margins to Assisi for this special meeting. And they in turn brought some of the poor that they help with them.
I come from Poland.
From Turkey.
From Nigeria.
Toledo, Spain.
I'm here to see the Pope and also to pray for him and with him.
It's a great chance to travel because it's complicated for my friend.
We are the foundation that cares about people in crisis of homelessness. So it's like close problem for me, for myself.
When you come with sadness, you go with happiness.
The Holy Father went straight to the Basilica of St. Mary of the Angels, and outside, a refugee gave Pope Francis a pilgrim's walking stick and cloak. Inside, he was greeted by children with special needs. Then, some of the homeless and the marginalized were given the rare opportunity to share their experiences directly with Pope Francis.
C'est avec le cœur rempli de joie et de tendresse.
They told stories of drug abuse, homelessness, prison, fleeing as refugees, and life at the bottom of society.
Me viró y me dijo.
It was clearly an emotional moment for many who spoke, and the Pope listened carefully and then thanked them for, as he put it, opening their hearts.
It's time to give a voice back to the poor, because their requests have fallen on deaf ears for too long. It's time for eyes to open to see the state of inequality in which so many families live.
One of the people who attended was Wojciech Kolski from Poland. He came with a Catholic charity group called Barka.
I went to Barka because I had a run-in with the law. I was sentenced to 2 years in prison. But the officials didn't take me right away, because at that time I had a nervous breakdown and I was put into a psychiatric hospital.
Wojciech was able to get his life back on track and now helps other people who are in need. Inside the Basilica, Pope Francis concluded by saying, "Hospitality means opening the door of our house and the door of our heart, to anyone who knocks. The challenge to the faithful," he said, was to bring them in and make them feel welcomed and not ashamed. 2 days later at the Vatican in Rome, over 2,000 of the homeless and the poor and those who work with them, many of the same people who were in Assisi, attended a special Mass in St. Peter's Basilica, where the Pope welcomed them once again. In his homily, Pope Francis emphasized the importance of making concrete gestures in order to give hope to the poor. He said Christians must become tireless builders of hope amongst the darkness and suffering in the world.
Brothers and sisters, let us bring this hope to the world. Let us bring it with tenderness to the poor, without judging them, for we will be judged. Because there, with them, with the poor is Jesus, because there, in them, is Jesus, who awaits us.
In Assisi and Rome. Colm Flynn, EWTN News in Depth.